We are about to find out if Nick Sirianni is really the coach we thought he was, or if he's a complete fraud. Go by the way, King Dingbat here. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. So who is Nick Sirianni? That's the real question. What kind of coach is he? Is his name Nick Sirianni really? Or is it Nick Kotite? Because the Eagles could be on the verge of total collapse. And I think this game versus Seattle will let us know everything we need to know. This is the biggest test of Nick Sirianni's coaching career. Why do I say that? Because he has to steer this ship right. These guys are sinking, and they're sinking fast. If you look at the effort that the Eagles have made in the last 2 weeks, they haven't even shown up. Okay, you can't tell me, well, Dallas beat the hell out of them and 49ers beat the hell out of them. Yeah, they did, but it ain't because the Eagles are bad. The Eagles, they ain't showing up. There's something going on. They ain't ready to play. And I got to put it on the coach, and we've got to figure out what it is, because this is the issue at hand, okay? Now, before we get into all of it, if you're new to the channel, hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. If you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for all the support you give to me. And I don't have eggnog on me right now, but if I did, it'd be eggnog time, yo. Pinky up always shows you have class when you drink. Now, as I was saying, when I look at this game going up against Seattle, a team that is in free fall, a team that is on what, like a 4-game losing streak, a team that got a little help yesterday with the Giants winning, this is a must-win for the Seattle Seahawks. And we have had problems over the years going into Seattle and winning. We can't win in Seattle. I don't know what it is, but they're going to have to figure it out, and they're going to have to figure it out now. And I really think this is Nick Sirianni's biggest test. Can he right the ship? Can he get these guys going? Because look, if you beat Seattle, you're in a situation where you got to play the Giants twice and the Cardinals once. You should theoretically win every one of those games. Now, you got to play it out. Giants are playing better football. They might make it competitive. Who knows? You never know. You got to go play the game. But the Eagles, in my opinion, at the least, they have to go into the playoffs at number 2 seed. And that's at worst. That's at the worst case scenario if you want to get back to the championship game. Now, I'm still hoping and praying we can right this ship, and then somehow Baltimore beats San Francisco and we can get that 1 seed and get it back. But right now, it's hard to imagine. I know there's a lot of people out there that are just like done with this team. They're done. They're like, dude, Philly, I'm done. They got no shot. I'm done. And I get it. I get the frustration. Me, I like more pain than that. I'm more of a sufferer. You know what I mean? Like I rather die a slow, torturous, like I play football, I would play if I played a defensive quarter, I would be very aggressive. I blitz all the time. In life, I guess I'm like death by 1,000 cuts because I go down with the ship. I am not backing off this team. I am not giving up on this team. I am not quitting on this team. I believe the Eagles are a good team. I believe that when they're playing their kind of football, they're at their best. And I don't think many people can beat them. I truly believe it. I don't believe the 49ers beat the crap out of us because they're just that much better. I don't believe the same thing with Dallas because they're that much better. We already beat Dallas this year. No, something else is going on, and it has to do with the coach, and it has to do with whatever's going on in that locker room. And listen, in the post game on Jacob Media, shout out to them, they were talking about what could be going on, and Derek Gunn said something that everybody's talking about today. I kind of want to give my opinion on it, but this is what he said. At Real Derek Gunn said this. He says multiple Pound Eagles, not hashtag players, have told him anonymously that the Eagles' offense is very, quote, very predictable. They added, look at our pass routes compared to the Cowboys' pass routes. Our pass routes take too long to develop. I just was saying this yesterday. Dallas gets their shit out real quick. And that's exactly what, go back and watch my post game. Go back and watch Shake. We talk about this. It's exactly right. So when I see this, I believe Derek Gunn fully. I believe players are saying that. And this goes to my theory that what is happening with this team is there's a disconnect between the players and the coaches and what is coming out in the game plan. I think the Eagles, I think these players hate the game plan. I don't think they're that into it. I don't think they like it. And I think they come out early on and they see the game plan and you know, they fumble the ball early like Jalen Hurts does. And, you know, you have, you know, a 3 and out. You know, something goes wrong. And I think the players, I think they mentally check out with the game plan. I think this has been going on all year. I think the saving grace has been that when the Eagles make the adjustments in the second half and it's not so analytically driven of a plan, the players respond much better. So to me, Nick Sirianni has the biggest test of his coaching career, even more so than his first year when he was able to change his offense completely to get us into playoffs, even more so than last year. He has to get a team that could be in total free fall, and he's got to stabilize it, and he's got to get them going back in the other opposite direction. That's what he needs to do. That's what's on his plate. And the best way to do that, I hope this happens, I hope there's a players-only meeting, and I hope the players go to the coach, you know, and they say, listen, we don't like the game plan. We've got to change up this offense. And then he listens to them. If they do that, they'll be better off, okay? This team is very talented, especially on the offensive side of the ball. There's no way that they should struggle scoring points at all. It shouldn't happen. James Nagel put up interesting tweet I wanted to share with you guys because this goes kind of to what we're talking about here. Pound Eagles had just 23 carries versus Dallas Cowboys. They only ran the ball 23 times. Their record under Nick Sirianni when they run the ball more than 23 times is 30-6. Their record when they don't, 3-8. Philly cannot afford to get away from the run game. It's completely destroying every other part of the team. This is so true. Okay? They got to get back to running the ball. And here's the thing. Why wouldn't you want to run the ball? Why wouldn't you want to have sustained offensive drives when your defense stinks? Your defense can't stop anybody. They can't get off the field. So the best way to play defense is keep the defense off the field. Run the ball, kill time, eat up time of possession. That's how you have to do it. They did it. They had the right idea the first 2 series versus the Niners. They just couldn't score touchdowns. But they've got to get back to that. What the Eagles need to do is they need to activate Rashad Penny, and they need to start using Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift should have no less than 15 carries a game, 15 to 20 carries. They can't worry about whether or not he's going to last the rest of the year, he's going to be injured, or this or that's going to happen. You have to start to use him because he's one of your most explosive playmakers. You have to get Rashad Penny in there because he's a bigger, more physical back. I need less Gainwell. I need more Penny, more Boston Scott. I dressed all 4 running backs, and I would run the ball more, especially early in the game. If they do that, they'll be fine. Now, they're going up against Seattle. Like I said, Seattle is desperate this week. They're absolutely 100% desperate. And the thing about it is they may be without Geno Smith, we'll see, but they also may be out without Devin Witherspoon. Now, if he's not in, he's their best defensive player. This is a team that doesn't have a good defense also. So this is a chance for the Eagles to right the ship. Remember, in the grand scheme of things, all the Eagles have to do is win out. They win the division. They win the number 2 seed. All they got to do is win. They control their own destiny, okay? You can't tell me they can't beat Seattle. They can't beat the Giants. They can't beat Arizona and the Giants. You can't tell me they can't run the table on the schedule. And let me tell you this. If the Eagles go into Seattle and they lose, I think it's over. I think the season's over. I think this team is lost. I don't think this coaching staff is going to be able to get them back. I think this would be such a crushing defeat after what happened the last 2 weeks. I don't know that they recover. I honestly don't. Now, if they beat Seattle, I think it'll take a lot of the pressure, a lot of the stress off. Okay, especially if the coaching staff is willing to make the right adjustments. If Nick Sirianni is ready to make the right adjustments. I think that the most likely situation is that we give way too much blame to the coordinators and not enough to Nick Sirianni. And I think that Nick Sirianni's offense looks very much like the offense that did his rookie year before he changed it up. You need to add RPOs back. You need to be running the ball. You need to do the things that worked and things that made you successful. I think if the Eagles went and shifted back to like a lot of RPOs, I think it would throw everybody off. I really do. And as far as the defensive side of the ball, the Eagles don't blitz. The Eagles, when they do blitz, they don't know how to blitz, and they just give up yards after yards after yards. I don't know how much of the defense like you can actually fix before the end of the year. Like, it's going to require new players, and we're going to have a field day this off season talking about the draft and talking about the linebackers and this team's unwillingness to go out and treat linebacker like an important position. But that's all for the off season. Right now, how do they fix this going forward? That's the question. The one thing I can say is you're going to have to take more chances. You're going to have to take more risks on defense. And I mean, you're going to have to blitz. You're going to have to figure out how to blitz. You're going to have to design some blitzes that can maybe fool quarterbacks. These teams are killing us. And when we do blitz, really, we stink at it. We look like our guys don't know how to blitz. And so I don't know how much of it on defense you can actually fix. The front four has to be better. We need them to play better. We need to start stopping the run again. That would be a big deal. But really, Nick Sirianni, this is it for him. To me, he's either Nick Sirianni or Nick Kotite. Now, what do I say Nick Kotite? Rich Kotite was the worst coach in Eagles history as far as I'm concerned. Worst. And I remember at one point, I think we were like 7-2 and completely collapsed under Kotite. And if Nick Sirianni can't fix this, we got problems. I mean, these players, you can see it on their face. You know, how many times do you see Jalen Hurts on the sideline? He looks totally frustrated. How many times have you seen Devontae Smith sitting on the sideline frustrated? I mean, these guys are sitting there by themselves. They're frustrated. And I'm willing to bet that it's the game plan, it's what they're doing that is frustrating them more than anything. So let's see what kind of coach we have. Let's go out and see. Now, if they beat Seattle, I think it'll take a lot of pressure off the Eagles. I think the fan base will feel better, and we can regroup. Listen, everybody in the league, every team goes through it. The best record in the league is 10-3. Eagles still have that record. 49ers at one point lost 3 in a row. It happens. The question is, can you right the ship? There's still plenty of time to start playing your best football. Now, will it happen and stuff? Who knows? But I think this week's game versus Seattle is going to tell us which way we're going to go and if we even have a chance, or this thing's going to just totally collapse. And if it totally collapses, then we have to look at replacing every coach possible, including Nick Sirianni. As crazy as that sounds, if you can't keep your locker room, you got problems. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. So just for you guys who look at the lines and stuff, right now, currently, the Eagles are opening this week as 3.5-point favorites on the road in Seattle. Now, I don't know if you like that or not. We don't win in Seattle, but the Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. And like I said, Seattle is in free fall. They're going to be without possibly Geno Smith, without Witherspoon, and those would be big losses. All that said, the Eagles still have to fly across country to a place that they can't win normally in years and years, and they got to find a way to win this thing to right this ship. It's going to be very important. Now, the Eagles play Monday night. Cowboys play Sunday, so we'll be streaming the Cowboys game on Sunday, and then we'll be streaming, of course, the Eagles on Monday. I think the Cowboys lose to the Buffalo Bills this week, but the way this season's going, you never know. With that said, Denzel Washington out.